So I'm Thibault, co-founder of Toore. I have background engineering for decision support for production and supply chain. I used to be CPO in a software platform for real estate developers, and I ended up on Remanufacturing doing market research on the second-hand market and got passionate about this topic. I started to search for a CTO, long and complex search. I ended up meeting with Mathieu and we decided to team up. So we've worked during 12 months, just the two of us, and this is when we met with OSS. We were actually facing like the go-to-market wall, and OSS basically told us like, we've cracked 20 times this kind of market, so let's team up and crack this together. So at Toore, we operate on the second-hand market. Actually, the second-hand market is exploding, not only on B2C, but also on B2B verticals, like building equipment, handling equipment, automotive, IT equipment. But the remanufacturing has become the best opportunities for distributors, OEMs, but it's actually one of the hardest opportunities to seize because scaling remanufacturing is like 10 times harder than scaling manufacturing. Remanufacturing is harder because each item is different. You actually discover the condition of each product at diagnosis. You don't know what labor cost, what spare part costs, how long it's going to take. And so basically you have a lot of margin decision to take every day that shapes your end of year margin. Well, the studio model alone is already valuable just for the 0 to 1. It's a time where you need a lot of different skills, could be product, design, go-to-market. You don't have the money to hire everybody to do that. So at OSS, you can find all the resources, but actually there is way more than that. OSS actually already launched like 22 companies selling to industrial operators. And so there is like basically nobody on the market having that much knowledge about launching a product in this type of market. So all the knowledge they gathered is just priceless. What I was actually looking for a sector with genuine impact on climate. When I started to talk to plant director, I realized that they were handling like a lot of complexity, 10 times more complex than classic manufacturing, linear industry. And I realized that the production management methods were way different and fundamentally different from linear manufacturing. And so when the problem is that fundamental, the solution needs to be radical, and that's the kind of problem we're spending years. It at least doubles the execution speed and the odds of making it from 0 to 1. For a startup, it's decisive, and actually there is something that you can't see, is the error and the mistakes that you won't do thanks to OSS. Actually, this is something I realized when we arrived at OSS. We kind of started to have the sense that the playbook to launch a product for industrial operators was way different from the classic SaaS playbook. It could be GTM, product value you have to build. And so arriving at OSS, we actually could pinpoint the differences between this classic playbook and the industrial playbook. And that was quite surprising for us as the SaaS playbook has become really common. But we think that with the AI revolution and the speed at which we can build product now, we think that the OSS playbook is not only good for industrial players, but also for like any SaaS in the industry. Well, go-to-market is hard. You could have built an amazing product that people want to buy, but actually distributing it and making sure that everybody can buy it and that you can implement it at scale with different clients is way harder. And so go-to-market was one of the main woes we faced. Well, we actually had like intense 6 months in iteration, both on go-to-market and on product, and we landed on something really special. So we now have 3 implementations at the same time, one with automotive, the other one for IT equipment distribution, and the last one for handling equipment remanufacturing. So 3 different sectors, but 1 product and 1 value. And this is one of the main bets that we have done, is that remanufacturing is kind of a unified market. Whatever the item, the product you want to refurbish, you have the same problem, the same decision chain, and you need the same infrastructure to scale it. And this is Toore. I think you should rest a bit. I think you should rest. No, more seriously, it's like Silicon Valley speed stepped into the French creativity, and it's just amazing. Well, we already proved that we can have a big impact at a plant scale, and now we are working with OEMs, large companies, to make sure that the remanufacturing strategic move is anchored into the strategy and that you can actually scale the remanufacturing on a lot of plants, a lot of revalue points.